Today we're going to be going through just a little day in the life of a freelance software developer. So let's just dive straight into it. Cheers. So the first order of business is we have a meeting.
So meetings can be a pain in the ass if they're not planned, but this one's a regular annual meeting with a software reseller. This is a company that sells our software. We also provide them with support services.
So one of the things I use for my meetings is OBS Studio. Never update to new versions before you have to do something. Skip. Okay, this is me up here on screen. Let's pull it down, as you can see. And then we need to have a little read up on my notes for the meeting. Okay, so I like to keep this little prompt window just showing my view here on the top right. I can control everything through my Stream Deck, which is perhaps another video on this soon, but I can do my Be Right Back screen, I can do my active screen. It's great, I really like it.
One of the amazing things that Stream Deck can do for me is it allows me to share my screen without being the active presenter.
Is everyone here?
Happy New Year to you.
I can also change camera angles, which is really handy too, especially when you're showing someone something.
Okay, so following my meeting, there's a couple of follow-ups where I said I'd get back to people. I just need to check a couple of things here in an XML schema. Once I do that, send it off, I'll probably go make breakfast.
While I'm working on this, please click the like button and leave a comment. If you really like this kind of content, please click the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of when I upload next.
Okay, fresh coffee, let's go. I made myself this porridge, it's amazing. It's got raspberries and pomegranate and blueberries. Okay, super quick now. We're going to need to work on some online banking and reconciliation. I have a credit note to send for a client that is no longer in business. So, fantastic. So we've got a few overdues here. Okay, yeah, it looks good. It's a healthy picture, at least. We have a couple of late payers. Now, there's a number of reasons why a client might pay late. There's a huge number of reasons. And predominantly when it comes to software products, which are sold as software as a service, if the client doesn't pay, then the software is not active. It's really quite simple and straightforward. But then when you're doing software services, that can be a real pain. There's a whole number of problems that can potentially go on there. Oh, there we go. That's a support ticket. I don't know if you heard my little noise there. Let's just quickly hop onto that. I like to hop on support tickets if I can. And when I'm doing deep work, so when I'm working on sort of the software development side of things, all my notifications are automatically suppressed. When I start certain applications or at certain times of the day, I don't get notifications. So if a client emails me, it's probably quite rare I'm going to be able to get their email and respond to it in that kind of real-time messaging that people like to do with email nowadays. It's kind of crazy. Email used to be so good, and now people use it like, I need an immediate reply to this email, and sort of use it like some sort of chat thread. No. If a client logs a support ticket, makes a phone call, sends a text message, sends a social media message, whatever, it goes into the system and is triaged automatically. And if they need a response, they'll get a response. If it needs to interrupt me, it will interrupt me. That's how things should be. Hope you had a great Christmas and wishing you every best for 23. Could you look into this for us? Okay, so give the customer a little hint that there's a cool new version coming up. That was super exciting. So put them in a little thing there. Super, they just had a reply. Got a bunch of support tickets here. So there's 5 outstanding. They're not actually all support though. It's their clients wishing us a happy new year.
With that done, I can now move on to some actual software development. Very excitingly, I've got a lot of desktop applications that need to be migrated to the web.
Time for a quick break.
The core technology here is .NET WinForms, and I'm moving it to Blazor, Microsoft's web UI technology.
But before I can start building anything in Blazor, I need to learn about the framework. I need to know what I'm doing. So I've created myself a demo project. It's a bit hello worldy, but I'm trying to figure out how this works in anger.
I've been using Microsoft .NET for about 20 years now, so this is a great way to learn. Basically, if you have an understanding of something, you can just try and make something. We call it building something in anger, or using something in anger.
Okay, got it. Makes sense.
It's a nice, quick way to learn. I'm going to take another quick break, this time take Maisie, my dog, for a walk, and also see my parents and maybe pop in and get a coffee as well. It's an absolutely gorgeous midwinter day today, so let's have a quick look at the solar and see how we're doing.
So as you can see here, we have 2.3 kilowatt solar coming in. House is using 1.7. We are meeting all of our needs, and we're topping up the batteries. Perfect.
One thing my mum and I used to love doing together was watching underwater marine documentaries like David Attenborough. So here I am, absolutely pleased to show her a 360-degree video from the seagrass transplanting project last year.
Yay! You can see the reef there, can't you see? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah! And stay. And we're going to put...
Maisie will be safe and air-conditioned in the Tesla with dog mode, and time to get that late lunch and answer some support tickets while I'm out and about. In today's fast-paced world, it's nearly impossible to get away from notifications and work no matter where you are. So what I tend to do is restrict visibility and restrict notifications of things that might interrupt me during my day, and only get the important stuff. Now, the important stuff comes through on my support desk. And from here, I or anyone who works for me can access all the information that they need to look after the customers. When I'm replying here, it's just like I'm replying from my office or desk at home. If the customer has a mobile number and they've opted into text notifications, they'll get one of those. They can log in and view all of the correspondence that they have with us. It makes compliance with GDPR very, very easy, and this is incredibly convenient. This is an absolute must. I couldn't run my business without it. Last Christmas, Tesla added internal dog mode camera, so I've been just checking on her while I'm having my lunch. She's quite active, more than I thought. And then after finishing my coffee and my toasty, it's time to get back to the office because there's still more to do. But I'm going to go back the scenic way. Look, it's worth pointing out that, I do work more than 8 hours a day, but, when you can take a bit of time to take a walk, it's a good time to do it.
Okay. It's time now to head. Get our seatbelts on. It's time to go back to work. What I do when I get back home here. So there's the charge station. Door open. And then we just tap to open. Grab the thing, pop it in, and we're done. That's it. Nothing more to do. Except let the dog out. Okie dokie. Despite using and trying every electronic device imaginable, this, by the way, is Polly. You still just can't beat paper and pen. I use a desk journal to just scribble down anything. There's no order to it, except I write the date on the top, and I just scribble. So it's drawings, it's diagrams, it's notes, it's sort of to-dos, but my to-do list, I keep in Todoist. One of the biggest challenges of having multiple sources of notes or multiple apps and multiple this and that and the other is that there's no one source of truth. I can't go to my Apple Notes or my Google Notes or my Microsoft Notes, and there's no way of knowing exactly what that truth is. So I steer clear of things like Apple's Reminders app, but I love using Apple's Notes app to make notes for my YouTube videos. This particular piece of work needs to be done on the client's laptop. This is a Dell Latitude from 2014. It is actually ancient. The battery doesn't work anymore and it's a little bit flaky, but some things need to be done on client equipment. So the actual software development is done on my own equipment, but when I need to access the client's secure networks, you do so on their machines. So yeah. So you can take the developer out of the corporate, but you can't take the corporate out of the developer. I finished school over 25 years ago. And this thing is older than that. This went obsolete when I was studying my A-levels. So this is a balance scale used in commercial and industrial applications. Now I can't tell you who the client is and I can't tell you too much detail about the work I'm doing, and that's because software services are typically provided under NDA or non-disclosure agreement. This is also a pain because it restricts the ability for you to use what you do in marketing. But come to that in another video. This thing here is an RS-232 port, or a serial port, or COM. Some of my older viewers will know exactly what this is. Now, obviously this device is obsolete. The client's existing software works over RS-232, and I'm going to be rewriting it to use USB. And of course, there are only so many hours that you can sell in a day. In a future video, I intend to show you how to price projects. So stay tuned for that. So this is why selling services is not actually as good as selling products. Again, we'll come to that. In fact, this is what I use here to track my time. This is my Timular cube. You might have heard that ding in the background. I basically turn this cube to the side I want to track, and it goes ahead and tracks it. It's a little bit of an insight into some of the day-to-day of the developer part of the diving developer. But we also have some diving stuff on this channel, so if you were here for that originally and you don't much care for the business or tech side of things, then please click here and here to watch a couple of really cool diving videos. And if you were here for the Tesla stuff or Powerwall Solar and that sort of thing, then click over here to see some of that. And please, I'm going to try and get a video out every week, and there's also YouTube Shorts. Click here, watch a YouTube short, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And from Emma and I, bye for now. Bye.